Hello, everybody. Today we've got another political shift, and this time it's going to be the presidential vote in each state between 2020 and 2024, but it's going to be just for the most populous county in each state. In the past, I've done the exact same thing between 2016 and 2020. You can take a look at that video if you'd like. This is not the most important information, but it is fun to see in which direction some of these large population centers have moved. Of course, at the end, we're going to have a map, but for now, we've got everybody's favorite. It's a spreadsheet. The left column are the most populous counties in each state in alphabetical order by state. The next column is the 2020 Joe Biden vote, then the 2020 Donald Trump vote. Then we've got the 2024 Kamala Harris vote, followed by the 2024 Trump vote. Then we've got the Democratic shifts between the two elections, followed by the Republican shifts. And the last column are the net shifts between the two parties between the two elections. And then we've got shading here. The lightest colors are going to be under 5-point shifts, all the way up to shifts of 10 or more points. That's going to have the darkest color. So let's get started here. The most populous county in Alabama is Jefferson. That has the city of Birmingham. And in 2020, Joe Biden got 55.8. Donald Trump got 42.6. In 2024, Kamala Harris ticked down slightly to 54.3. Donald Trump edged up to 43.9. That's a net loss of 1.5 for the Democrats and a net gain of 1.3 for the Republicans. And that comes out to a total net shift of 2.8 in favor of the Republicans, or in this case, it's going to be Trump. So that's how this works. I took most of the data from Wikipedia, but there's always an occasional discrepancy. And I'll also just point out next we have Alaska, and that state has boroughs instead of counties, and that is by far the hardest state to get concrete data from. So even though Anchorage is the largest borough as well as the largest city, the data for this year has not been readily accessible as of yet. So because of that, I left it blank. So that's going to be a shift of 0. Now as for the rest of these, we can go through this pretty quickly. In Maricopa County, Arizona, huge population there, that swung 5.6 toward Trump. In Pulaski County, Arkansas, that had very little shift, just 0.4% toward Trump. But Los Angeles County, California had a massive shift toward Trump by over 11 points, 11.2. In the county as well as the city of Denver, Colorado, it's very blue, but it did get noticeably redder by 5.3. Fairfield County, Connecticut got even redder by 7.7. Newcastle, Delaware, a little less red by 4.6. And how about Miami-Dade County, Florida? That had the biggest shift out of all the states, a massive surge of 18.7 toward Trump and the Republicans. In Fulton County, Georgia, not a lot of shift there, just 1.5 toward Trump. Honolulu, Hawaii, that got redder by 5.2. Ada County, Idaho, even redder by 6.5. Cook County, Illinois, another deep blue county, but it got a lot redder by 8.8. Marion, Indiana, a little bit of red movement by 1.6. Polk County, Iowa got redder by 4.4. In Johnson County, Kansas, which is just south of Kansas City, that county did not move towards Trump. It's one of only 2 that actually saw a swing toward Harris. It's not much, it's only 0.3%, but that's always very fascinating to see which counties will defy the trends. Next, in Jefferson County, Kentucky, Trump with a modest gain there of 3.6. East Baton Rouge Parish, Louisiana, that also went in his direction by 1.9. Cumberland, Maine, slight movement there toward Trump by 0.4. Montgomery, Maryland, decent red shift of 6.8. Middlesex, Massachusetts, also by 6. Wayne County, Michigan, an even bigger shift of 9.1. Hennepin, Minnesota, small red shift of 0.8. Same direction in Hinds County, Mississippi by 2.4. Also in St. Louis County, Missouri by 0.6. Yellowstone, Montana by 2.9. Douglas, Nebraska by 1.2. And Clark County, Nevada, which was key to Trump winning that state. He still lost the county, but it moved in his direction by 6.8. In Hillsborough County, New Hampshire, they got redder by 4.7. In New Jersey, that state had one of the biggest unexpected shifts. And in Bergen County, that moved in Trump's direction by a significant double-digit margin of 12.9. In Bernalillo, New Mexico, that moved in the Republicans' direction by 3.5. In New York, they have Kings County, and as long as this data is up to date, it was another blowout gain for Trump there by 11.7. But in Wake County, North Carolina, just a 1% swing there toward Trump. Cass County, North Dakota, 5.6 toward Trump. Franklin, Ohio got redder by 3.2. Oklahoma County, Oklahoma, just a little bit redder there by 0.6. Then we've got Multnomah County, Oregon. That's the other county that defied the trends and moved toward Harris. It was the same as Johnson County, Kansas, just a very slight shade bluer by 0.3. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, redder by 4.6. Providence, Rhode Island, even redder by 8.9. Greenville, South Carolina, toward Trump by an even 4. Then one of the funnest county names to say, Minnehaha, Omaha, South Dakota, also toward Trump by 3.3. In Shelby, Tennessee, that went in his direction by 5. Harris County, Texas, 7.7. Salt Lake County, Utah, slight movement there toward Trump of 0.7. Chittenden, Vermont, blue state, but it got redder by 1.3. Fairfax, Virginia, big red shift there of 7.2. King County, Washington, not much redder there by 1.4. Kanawha, or if you prefer, Kanawha County, West Virginia, still toward Trump by 2.8. Same in Milwaukee, Wisconsin by 1.3. And finally, in Laramie County, Wyoming, that moved 3.9 away from Kamala Harris and toward Donald Trump. So those are all the states and all the counties. And if you want to help visualize all this data, we can take it all and apply it to a map. And here it is. The states are shaded according to how their most populous counties shifted. And the shading is very similar. 10 or more point margins are going to be the darkest colors. And it's going to go all the way down to the very lightest colors. And this time it's going to be under 1 point shifts. And again, in Alaska, not enough data available at the time of the video. So what are the takeaways from these shifts? Well, in terms of electoral votes, 518 of them moved toward Trump, just 14 of them moved toward Harris. So this looks like a complete red wave after we saw a lot of movement toward Biden in 2020 from 2016. This went in the other direction. Although there are going to be 2 states with 2 counties, they did move toward Harris. Again, that's going to be Oregon and Kansas. A few other states had very little movement at all. They went toward Trump by under 1 point shifts. Those are going to be Utah, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Missouri, Arkansas, and Maine. And just one county out of all these states actually changed parties, and that's going to be Maricopa, Arizona, that voted for Biden in 20, but it flipped for Trump in 24. Now, some states have a ton of counties like Georgia and Texas, and there's other states that have very few counties. So the margins in some of these counties carry significant political weight in some of these states. In Arizona, Delaware, Hawaii, Nevada, and Rhode Island, the most populous counties in those states have at least half of the statewide population. So that's where every percentage point easily matters for the overall statewide vote. So we can clearly see that there was the most movement in California, Florida, New York, and New Jersey. Those were all double-digit gains by Trump. But there's plenty of other states that moved at least 5 points in his direction. A bunch of those were blue states on the East Coast, like Massachusetts. But in Michigan, Illinois, Texas, Virginia, those are also states that had notable movement toward Trump. Now, with a map like this, the specific demographics in these counties are going to matter a lot. Some of them have different racial, income, or educational makeups. And that's the kind of shift that might be more or less notable depending on the state. But it's also important to not read way too much into some of this data. These are the most populous counties, but at the same time, it is just one county. In a state like California, they have a ton of counties with heavy population. So this is not at all supposed to tell you everything you need to know about the election. It's just a different way to present the data, maybe have a little bit of fun and see where the shifts are, where people actually live. So maybe you can draw some different conclusions, but I'm going to leave it there for now. So let me know in the comments. What do you think about any of the shifts in the most populous counties in each state? Are you surprised by New York and New Jersey? Maybe you're also surprised by Kansas and Oklahoma going toward Harris. Let me know what you think down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.